And a good evening to you. Welcome inside the Bottom Line. Lanny Ford, Juju Phillips along with you. A little technical glitch here to get started. It is Monday all day. I'm tired. I'm old. Tough day at the office today. Had to play golf. Somebody's got to do it.
That's a good pick-me-up after the weekend, right?
Yeah. Nice day for it. A little on the warm side as the day wore on, but it's okay. I took one for the team.
Yes, you did, I'm sure.
I was there at 6:15 this morning to unload a moving truck to make sure that we were set up, and then drove back, got my car, drove back, played down at the Peninsula. Great events for you. You'll hear the spot on here for the Team Foundation, and that's our foundation, and we do grants through Times Oil as an extension of Times Oil, and the money goes to help schools. Schools can apply for grants to get stuff. So I think it's a great cause. We've been doing it for some time now, and just glad to be part of it. So
is that you're talking about schools in terms of applying for either equipment or supplies and that kind of thing?
Like we have bought. I mean, one of the big things, of course, everybody's got them now, were whiteboards.
Okay.
We bought a lot of whiteboards. People would apply for. Eden and Stephen apply for a grant to buy a whiteboard or need some equipment for a school, playground equipment, different things.
Yeah.
And I'm not on that committee. I don't know who makes those decisions or the criteria to get that or all that type thing, but it's a great thing that we do. And
it's for, as you mentioned, for anybody, any school that's involved where Times Oil is located. That's correct.
Yeah. We want to be a community partner and give back to the community.
That's good. Yeah. That's a really good thing.
I know there are some schools we have worked out certain discounts for some things.
Okay.
When they come into our store, if you show them an ID, there are certain things that we do. We try to partner. You know, we got 17 locations, but it's still important to give back to the community.
Yeah.
So we try to do that. Special guest coming up about 6:15, Levon Kirkland, formerly with the Pittsburgh Steelers. If I'm not mistaken, he is in the South Carolina Athletic Hall of Fame. He is also in the South Carolina Football Hall of Fame, and he is the Vice President of Development with the South Carolina Football Hall of Fame, and he's going to join us.
And I thought it always interesting that South Carolina has its own separate football Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's only been around since 13, I think, was the first class.
7 or 8 years. Yeah. And, North Carolina obviously does not have one, but there is a really good long history of football. And I'm guessing mostly college guys and guys that have made it their heyday, or at least they've gone on to do well in the pros and college. But I don't know how many, and I've looked it over a few times, how many there are, the high school side of it, the influence, the high school coaches or high school players.
Maybe he can
he
can
enlighten us.
Yeah, yep. But he's going to join us about 6:15.
Oh, you gotten over the weekend, over Saturday?
We're terrible. I mean, I don't know what else anybody wants me to say about that. I don't have any problem telling you we're terrible.
Then how do you fix it?
That's the part that concerns me. I don't see anybody trying to fix it.
Do you? We may have had this conversation earlier. Do you go back and simplify things on the offensive side? I mean, their defensive line strong enough? Is their offensive line playing well enough? Or is it just the quarterback not executing and getting everybody involved?
I'm not sure exactly where it is. This is just from a novice perspective, and I'm going to give you a little thing that Preston Clark shared with me when I posted. The first thing that I did was get on after the game and say, hey, I'll read you the post. Congratulations to my NC State fans. Well-deserved win. That should have never went to overtime. State should have won that in regulation. We're not a very good team for some reason. No excuses. You play with injuries. You play when the calls don't go your way. No excuse. We were beat by a better team today. And I don't think it's the last loss in regular season. And there were a number of comments that came in. And here's what Preston said. Preston said, I actually like what Dabo had to say. Dabo is a great rah-rah guy. Mm-hmm. Okay? after a while, that won't get you to borrow a phrase from one of my favorite play-by-play guys, that won't get you to the land of milk and honey.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Dabo said the criticism is warranted because that's where we are right now. Talking about the offense. With the way we perform, we're going to get criticism and you're going to get comments. It comes with the territory because the expectation and the standard at Clemson, we're not meeting it. It's just that simple. People are going to say what they want, and that's not anything we can say because we're not getting it done. He added that he sees this as an opportunity to grow. We've got a lot of guys that have not experienced this, so this is an opportunity for us to grow. Anytime you go through this type of challenge or adversity, if you don't let it define you or destroy you, it will develop. It's never been defined by a scoreboard. It's important, but my job right now is to teach and grow this group up. We've had a 2-3 team my first year that went to the play for the league championship. It hurts. All we can do is focus on what we can control. You can't control anything other than what we are right now and getting back to work on Monday and staying together. All you can do is keep showing up and working to get better each day and coaching players you have. Dabo Swinney has led Clemson to new heights. I'll take my chances with him all day. I agree with that. I'm okay with that. What are you fixing? There's more there than growing up. You're one of the most well-recruited and one of the top recruiters. Hey, you got the job.
Mm-hmm.
So are you telling me you missed on all these kids? I mean, I know on defense now they're down 2 defensive tackles.
Mm-hmm.
They're down the maniac that plays middle linebacker, 47, that got tossed out of 2 or 3 games last year for targeting. Shipley, I haven't read how long he's going to be out. He's injured. But that's part of it. You should have a stable full. I don't see – I guess the part Mark Greeny said this, a quarterback who will not pull the trigger, an offensive coordinator who's not calling plays to build confidence, and now after the defense has busted butts trying to keep them in games, they are decimated up front. In the NFL, it's a recipe to tank and go for the first pick. Now, I don't think that's it. Clay Alexander said quarterback. Brian Lynch said Dabo is still there. Defense looks good, but offense is going to need time to rebuild. Yes, some things look good, but going to take some time. You don't rebuild 3 games into the season. One of the things that I'm not sure of, Skowski, is he done for the season? I don't know. That's the one I'm talking about. Richie also said Dabo needs to let DJ go. Wasn't he a top-rated quarterback? Here's where I'm at. Let me tell you what I'm thinking. And Stephen may be on to something. He doesn't seem to think there's leadership there on the field. Matt Hodge said, what does or have they said what Dabo will do to the kids and spitting? Heat of the moment kind of things, when people are in your face. And that's one of those things, they haven't faced this type of adversity in a really long time. How do you handle it?
Mm-hmm.
This is my thing from the quarterback position. I'm afraid DJ has not matured into what they thought he would, and they don't have anything any better to back him up.
He's played 4 games.
Played 2 last year.
What was it, 2? Then played 5 games. So he's 5 games into a college career.
I just know there's 3 pretty good-looking quarterbacks playing other places.
Yeah, they are.
That play there.
Yeah. They're going to have to get busy. It seems objectively, I mean, looking at from, not being as involved either emotionally or whatnot, that the imagination on their offense, the way they call the plays, they don't seem to be playing offensively with a sense of urgency.
And
the quarterback is hesitant.
Yes,
I don't know if he doesn't trust he doesn't trust his offensive line, or if there's a trust factor there or not, but he seems to be hesitant in terms of what he's reading the defense and checking down and throwing. It seems like he's just a step or 2 behind.
Make no mistake, I'm still a Clemson fan.
Yeah.
I'm still 100% Clemson supporter.
Yeah.
I just don't understand what's going on. I've never felt like, even as successful as we have been, I have never felt like we were one of those teams. Bill Klein, good evening. I've never felt like we were an Alabama, that we were a Notre Dame. Maybe Dabo and the rest of them did. I never felt that way. I felt like we didn't have that kind of maturity and stability to sit there on top. And last year we were embarrassed.
Yeah. And, there were so many. I mean, if you go look back over the last 2 or 3 or 4 years, there have been a lot of players, even before the transfer portal, they've lost a lot of depth. Guys have left for whatever reason, especially quarterbacks have moved on, and this is what they're left with.
It almost seems like, and I'm not on the insides, I don't know, but it almost seems like some of those players leave because they've seen the writing on the wall that there's not really going to be an opportunity to compete.
Maybe. That could be it. But there has been a lot. There have been guys that have left the program for whatever reason.
And here, and Ford's exactly right. Their problems go way beyond the quarterback position. No continuity on offense, defense, special teams. And that goes back to what Steven said in the leadership thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost, to me, like they've been reading their own press clippings.
Well, the leadership thing is you're always as good as your upperclassmen. And if you're not going to be that good, then you're going to have some issues. But that's good for college football overall,
yeah,
right? Especially in the ACC.
It is. And good evening, Sports Talk. This is this LaVon?
Yeah.
Good evening, sir. We are live on the air. This is Lanny Ford along with Juju Phillips. Thank you for taking the time to join us. We appreciate that.
Hey, man, thank you guys for having me on. I really appreciate you.
Now, here's the deal. Now, I'm going to get you right inside the conversation with us, and then we'll get on to your stuff because I'm an old Clemson guy, okay?
Okay.
I played with Perry Tuttle, Jeff Davis. Those guys are my age.
Back in the day.
We played for Coach Ford. I came back with a back injury early. My senior class was won the first championship, so I bleed orange hard. Now, but I'm also a guy that I can call it honestly that like this weekend we got beat by a better team, and I'm not sure what's going on. I've never been an apologist. That's not going to happen, but I'm here to back them 100%. But that's exactly what we were talking about. You got any thoughts on this weekend's game?
This past weekend, well, I'll tell you what, man, I'm like that too. I bleed the orange. I put blood, sweat, and tears with that team back in the late 80s, early 90s.
Mm-hmm.
I felt watching this game that, man, our offense is really super struggling. It was tough to watch.
Yeah.
When you go 7 straight series without getting a first down, that's bad. They really don't seem to trust the play calling, the offensive line,
mm-hmm.
the running back, the quarterback, no trust. And I think that's what's happening. No trust. People are not doing the right thing when they're supposed to do it. It's a drop here, fumble here, interception here. So they're just to really say it plain and simple, they're struggling and they don't have any identity at this point in time.
Yeah, and I guess the biggest part that bothers me is nobody's really admitting we've got some issues and we've got to fix some things, because I'm not seeing a whole lot of stuff actually being changed or personnel changes or I don't know. I don't think this is something we can kind of grow out of. Now, can we grow from it? Yeah, you always grow and you learn when things don't go your way. But right now it's kind of tough. And I also made the comment that I don't think this is our last regular season loss. I think there may be another one down the road.
No, I predicted it's kind of funny. I predicted 2 losses in the ACC this year.
Wow.
Just by watching, after I saw the Georgia Tech game,
mm-hmm.
I was thinking that this is going to be 2 losses because they can't generate any kind of offense at all.
No.
And therefore, that's hurting the defense. The defense has been playing well, and they've been playing, I think, winning football last game.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what happens when your defense has to play the whole time. Guys start getting hurt. You start losing some energy. And defense is energy. And if you don't have it, man, you start missing tackles. You start giving away big plays. And that's what you saw when you're not getting any help from your offense.
Yeah. Let me do a proper introduction here. You just caught us in our conversation talking Clemson. We're talking with LaVon Kirkland. He is the Vice President of Development with the South Carolina Football Hall of Fame. He is also a member of the South Carolina Football Hall of Fame and the South Carolina Athletic Hall of Fame. Is that correct?
Yeah.
And he is a two-time Pro Bowler, two-time All-Pro, played linebacker for our team. Me and Juju and my son, even though I pull for Panthers, my son's still he's definitely a black and gold guy, and I am too. Played for the Steelers for 9 years, 11 years inside the league, and we appreciate you taking the time. Of course, played his college ball down in Tigertown as well. So that's something that's special for us. Thank you again for joining us. Tell us a little bit about the South Carolina Football Hall of Fame.
Yeah, no, thank you very much for giving me this platform. Yeah, South Carolina Hall of Fame, we have an issue in South Carolina where our students are 43rd in the nation as far as college and career readiness, and we feel like that's really unacceptable. And so we created a platform where we educate, empower, and encourage our students to really be successful in whatever endeavors they want to do. And we're trying to really, our goal and mission is to try to get in the top 10 in 2030. So we're basically like asking all 46 states to help us do this, to help us really get to that level, because we all have a skin in the game. If our young people are doing bad, that's going to affect our community, our state, our businesses. So we try to make sure that people have the information they need to be successful. So that's what the South Carolina Football Hall of Fame is about. We also have our Football Hall of Fame ceremony that really honors the greats in South Carolina, whether you were born here in South Carolina or you are affiliated with South Carolina. And then we also have our Bridge Builder Excellence Award, which we give out to student athletes who are doing tremendously well in school, on the playing field, and out in the community. So we try to honor them as well. So that's what we're doing with the South Carolina Football Hall of Fame.
Hey, LaVon, as you talk about that, give us, our listeners and viewers, where is it located and how can people maybe contribute or even go by and check out the Hall of Fame?
Well, we're in Greenville, South Carolina. We don't have like a museum or anything like that, but you can get in touch with us if you want to do a sponsorship. You want to do a donation at www.scfootball, spell all the way out, HOF.org. So if you ever want to give us a donation, or if you ever want to check us out, see what we're all about, you can do that. So thank you so much for asking me about that, giving us a little bit of plug. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, I just put it in our feed on Facebook, had a link to that website so people can connect with that. One of the things that you guys are doing, whether it's donors, whether it's private business, public business, corporate investors, you're just looking to find partnerships to help put back to the community. Is that right?
Oh, yeah, that's correct. We're looking for all three of those to help us out because, like I said before, there is a issue in South Carolina where we are ranked 43rd, and we want to make sure we're able to educate, empower, and encourage. We have our podcast, Inside Blitz with LaVon Kirkland, where we try to give great tips, great stories from great people from South Carolina, and basically give out information that those students may need. So we're trying to do some great things. It's a lofty goal, but I really believe in it. We believe in it, and we feel with the right partners, the right people, we will be successful.
When you look at the Hall of Fame, LaVon, and you're a member of the Hall of Fame and now being a part of it as part of the development side, who were some people that influenced you when you were growing up to continue to get involved and stay involved in the football side of things? And, you always hear people talk about, football's been great to me. They've given me so much more than I've been able to give back, and now you're doing that. But who were some of the people that influenced you on this life path that you're on right now?
Well, of course, my parents and my family have been a big influence on me. My parents really worked hard. It was really tough for African Americans. If you think about them being being born in the 30s and having to be raised through the 40s, 50s, and 60s, they saw a lot, but they gave us a really good life. My coach Terry Thyers was one of the guys who really encouraged me to pursue football. He felt like I had an opportunity to go to the next level. And then, you look at the Danny Fords, the Tommy West, the Gene Chiswick's. But also I have to give it up to one of our guys, Willie Scott, who passed away not too long ago. I remember him talking at a camp that I was attending at University of South Carolina, and that really moved me as well. So there's a lot of people that are in that picture that really gave me, just really gave me some encouragement. I think about the NFL, I think about Bill Cowher, I think about the Steelers organization, guys like Don Capers, Dick LeBeau, Marvin Lewis, John Mitchell, Tim Lewis. Those guys were just really instrumental in my development as a player and a man.
Well, we're talking with LaVon Kirkland. He is Vice President of Development with South Carolina Football Hall of Fame. LaVon, tell us other things. You've got some other things that are going on outside the South Carolina Hall of Fame that you have.
Yeah, I'm doing also a podcast, Believe, Clemson Football with LaVon Kirkland. So me and Will Vandervoort, we actually talk about the games and what's going on as far as the Tigers are concerned. I do a lot of football camps during the month of February, probably to the month of June, where I go out and we actually train young guys who are normally going to the next level. And so that's always good. So it's kind of like, coaching, but really not coaching. And I'm also developing my own coaching business, speaking, and media platforms, so I can just really give back. I really, in my life, that's what I want to do. I want to make sure that not only am I fulfilling a life purpose, but I'm also helping other people along the line. So got a good bit on the table right now, but it's all good. And, I have to really praise God for giving me the opportunity to do all this.
You had the Hall of Fame recently had an induction ceremony. Was it back in August, I guess, because of the COVID and everything was delayed? Tell us about this year's class. I did see where Coach Spurrier was one of the guys that went in.
Yeah, Coach Spurrier is one of the guys. Robert Porcher, that played at South Carolina State and didn't end up having a great career with the Detroit Lions. Willie Scott, who was a first-round pick for the University of South Carolina, had a good career with Kansas City Chiefs. Also, we had Art Baker, who was a coach at East Carolina. So we had those guys come in, and it was really a nice treat. We really had a good time with them. We also had our Bridge Builder Excellence Award winner. His name was Nemo Safers, and his presence was really good. People really got to love him as coming up from the high school ranks at Dillon High School. And I think we had Kevin Edwards was what we call our Blanchard Rogers Award, which is for the two Heisman Trophy winners in South Carolina. So he was the winner this year. And this year we also we got in our website opportunity for you to vote for the next class. And we got some tremendous guys in that class. I mean, if you think about the rich history of South Carolina and some of the players that they've had, born and raised here who might have went off, or you have the guys who played in the state of South Carolina. I mean, we have a tremendous class, and you still have an opportunity to vote. So that's what we're doing with the South Carolina Football Hall of Fame, man. We're just trying to make a difference.
So you're taking nominations. When is the next ceremony?
The next ceremony, we're not quite sure when it's going to be. It may be in March of this year.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, the reason why we did it in August because of COVID and all that. And it went really well with we did our bridge building that Wednesday, and then we did our ceremony, the Hall of Fame ceremony on that Thursday. They both went well. We're still trying to decide, but we're thinking in March, it may be this year, that we do our both our awards.
You know, I looked through this, and this list that you've got, that's something else that you can go to the South Carolina Football Hall of Fame website. And you can vote. You've got until December, but you vote for up to 4 modern era nominees and 1 legacy, or you can write in 4 guys. And I go down through this list, and it's when you start showing your age. I played with both Jeff and Joe, played behind Joe. I was an offensive guard back in the day. And Jeff Bryant was another one that was on that team on the defensive side. I mean, just a lot of great athletes, not just from Clemson, but just in South Carolina when you think about it. And I like the way that you guys do it. It doesn't have to be – you don't have to be there for a certain length of time, but you've made a contribution either when you've come through a school, you were born there, something, you made a contribution to make the sports you participate in better, and that gives you an opportunity.
Oh, yeah. Like I said, we have a great list of guys on that list. It's really hard to pick who's going to be on that list. It really is. It's difficult. It is, but I think we have a fair list, and I think it's amazing that we give people the opportunity to vote and to say, like, hey, this is my favorite player. We even have some people to say, hey, why isn't so-and-so on the list? Or why is so-and-so on the list? So it can be a lot of fun. It's amazing every year that we do it, and I'm sure that this class is going to be an outstanding class, so we're looking forward to it.
While you're with us, I got to ask you, since I was born and raised in Pittsburgh, or outside of Pittsburgh, your old coach went in the Hall of Fame not too long ago, Bill Cowher. Got any Bill Cowher stories? And I want to ask you about the Super Bowl '96. Had a chance to win that game, and in my opinion, some late interceptions there by Dallas's defensive back. But what was it like, one, seeing your old coach go into the Pro Football Hall of Fame? You have any Bill Cowher stories?
I have plenty of Bill Cowher stories, but well, you know, yeah, it's always cool that if you know someone, especially if you work with them, that they're in the Hall of Fame. I mean, you seem like you're kind of a part of it, and I really cherish the fact that he picked me, his first class. I was his second-round pick, and I played there for 9 years. So I got to understand and know Coach Cowher and what he brought to the table. He was a tremendous young coach at the time. I think he really had the pulse for the players. I think before a lot of guys started doing this, you know, he would meet with every player at the end of the year just to kind of talk to them about the season and what he looks for the next year. So he was easy to approach. You know, a lot of times back then, man, the head coach was not the guy you wanted to approach, but he was definitely a player's coach. He understood the player because he played the game. Gosh, the best story I can give you about Coach Cowher is the year we did go to the Super Bowl. We started off 3-4, and we lost to Cincinnati before the open date. He told everybody to just kind of go home and kind of relax, refresh, but be ready to come back. And so we get back, and normally we have a chartboard of all the teams we're going to play. For some reason, it wasn't on there. He steps in the room, and he said, "We're starting a new season. That 3-4 season is out the window. At this point in time, this is our first game, and we're going to go 1-0, and we're going to go down the list." Sure enough, we beat Jacksonville. Then we go to Chicago, we beat those guys, and we end up winning, I think, 8 games in a row. And I thought that was the best coaching job he could have done. He refocused the team, and he refocused our mindset because we were 3-4, not quite sure what was going to happen and looked bad, but he just changed it around with the mindset. And we came back, and we got focused, and guys really got closer, and really started trusting each other. We became a really close team. We would go out together. Guys would get to know each other on and off the field. And I just thought that was one of the best coaching jobs he ever did.
You had a defensive coordinator, Dick LeBeau, who's in the Hall of Fame, Kevin Green, who's in the Hall of Fame, teammate, Rod Woodson, in the Hall of Fame. I mean, that was stellar. I mean, just an outstanding defense that you were a part of that year.
Yeah, it was outstanding. I think the thing about what we did was we were kind of innovators as far as blitzing the quarterback and then also playing a zone concept behind it. But, just like anything, you can have the right scheme, but you got to have the right players as well. I had the opportunity to play with guys like Kevin Green, Greg Lloyd, Chad Brown as a linebacker group, and that was an amazing linebacker group. So you could imagine being in that room and, Kevin and Greg, who were a little older than me and Chad, they kind of set the example for us. And we always felt like we had to play up to those guys. Like we were the young guys. So we had to play to a certain level. But, man, just playing that defense and having so much fun and having so much success, it was amazing. I think, the only thing that was missing from that team was winning the Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. I feel like if we would have won the Super Bowl, more people would be talking about the Blitzburg defense is what we were called. It was, I was happy to be a part of it. And sometimes, in your pro career, you just have to be fortunate. Not only getting drafted, but also being on the right team in the right situation and having the right professionals around you. And I felt like that was a part of the Steelers. And Coach Kyle really brought in a mindset of toughness, of smart play, and getting it done. So it was a great experience for me.
LaVon Kirkland, we appreciate your time. Would love to have you back on again. I'd love to pick your brain a little bit about how the game has changed, whether it's college or pro. I mean, you're kind of – it's almost like two different eras, and it's continuing to change. And sometimes I think change is good, but then there's some change that's not because it doesn't seem to make us or help develop these men into who they need to be. I think it's fantastic for what you're doing and the way that you've come back and understand you want to give back. And I just think it's important that people be able to do that as well.
Well, thank you so much. And again, really appreciate you guys having us on the show. Really pushing South Carolina Football Hall of Fame. We're educating, empowering, and encouraging people. We feel like that's an important platform for not only us, but I think it's going to help the state of South Carolina. We're definitely moving forward. So thank you guys for allowing me to express my mission.
You bet.
LaVon, we appreciate it, sir. You have a good evening. I hope we can talk with you again soon.
Oh, of course. Anytime you need me.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, LaVon.
That's what you want. You want people that want to give back to the community.
And have a purpose.
Important.
I mean, besides, and it's a great thing to recognize a rich sports history in football.
I'm sure he could just sit around and rest on his laurels.
Yeah.
But it's good to see that he wants to give back.
Yeah. And have a purpose to do.
Let me take a break, and we'll be back with more.
Finding the right remote. Saying goodbye to your favorite shirt that hasn't fit in 10 years. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with Auto Owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who live in your community and answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like finding a new favorite shirt. That's simple human sense.
Call Mooney Insurance in Maiden or East Lincoln Insurance in Denver or visit mooneyinsurance.com. Times convenience stores are more than convenient. They're your neighborhood store, your store. With locations in Lincoln, Catawba, Gaston, Iredell, and Mecklenburg counties, there's one near you. Times convenience stores have the right items at the right price, from snacks, cold drinks, and light meals from the grill, and there's always a special to save you time and money. Times has what you need. Times convenience stores, there's one near you. Regardless of where you're going, there's one on your way. Remember, there's always time to stop by Times. Have you thought about when you would like to retire? One of your major assets is planning for retirement is time, and you lose a little of it each day. The longer you wait to start accumulating capital for retirement, the harder it's going to be. How should you plan for retirement? Start by calculating approximately how much capital you will need at retirement, then estimate how much you will have to put away each year. Finally, carefully choose the investments in which you will invest. Stiefel Nicholas can assist you. Call 4 Rembert today at 828-624-7300. Stiefel Nicholas, member SIPC, and the New York Stock Exchange. First Federal Savings Bank has been serving Lincoln County since 1940. And as it has been from the beginning, customer service is a priority to First Federal Savings Bank. They want to get to know you by name. First Federal Savings Bank has the convenience, the products, and the services that the larger banks have, but with hometown people that you see throughout your community. Stop in and visit one of their 4 convenient locations and see what First Federal Savings Bank has to offer you. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Whether it's a sit-down meal or a call-in for the drive-thru, Brookwood Cafe and Catering is the answer. A variety of meats, vegetables, and desserts cooked daily, or a hot sandwich from the grill, they have what you're looking for to satisfy your taste buds. If you need catering from 5 to 500, Brookwood has you covered as well. Stop by Brookwood Cafe and Catering at 202 Providence Mill Road in Maiden. Don't forget breakfast daily till 11 a.m. Open Tuesday 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., Wednesday through Saturday 6 a.m. till 8 p.m., and Sunday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Call 828-428-8944 to place your order today.
Covenant Church began as a vision of just over 100 people in 1984. Since then, Covenant Church has grown and currently located at 2168 Gastonia Highway in Lincoln. The Sunday schedule includes early morning worship at 8:30, Sunday school at 9:45, and morning worship at 10:45. Their ministries extend beyond Sunday. Visit their website at www.covenantchurch.church to see all they have to offer, and better yet, stop by and see for yourself. Covenant Church may be just what you're looking for a new church home.
If you ask around, you'll find Burke Mortuary has a reputation for excellence and commitment to value. They've built a reputation of trust for more than 35 years. Burke Mortuary is proud to offer personal attention, meaningful tributes, and the area's most affordable prices. They're also proud to offer you beautiful, state-of-the-art facilities. It's the perfect place to honor your loved one. So when choosing a funeral home, the choice is easy. Choose Burke Mortuary with locations in Maiden and Newton.
In the best of times, no one is more deserving of every opportunity, encouragement, and support than the youth in our communities. Parents, teachers, coaches, and sponsors struggle to stretch their budgets to continue help. Communities need a team effort. Times Oil Corporation, a longtime member of the community, established the Times Educational Alliance Mission, or Team Foundation. Since 2011, over $125,000 in grants have been donated in the community. Times Oil and the Team Foundation are proud to be community partners.
And they are proud to be. That's where I was at today. We have raised over $250,000, putting it back into education.
That's fantastic.
So yeah, I'm really proud to be a part of that in association. We were just looking at. I'll give you some names that are on this list, and I'll even tell you some of them that I actually played with. Jim Stuckey. Jim Stuckey was seen, went on to play at San Francisco, went to White, played. But some of the other ones, Donnell Wolford played for Clemson. Travell Wharton played at South Carolina. Deuce Staley. He was out of Tampa, but he played at South Carolina. I didn't remember that.
At the University of South Carolina? Mm-hmm. And I just first remember him on my radar playing for the Eagles at running back and then wound up with the Steelers.
You remember Clyde Simmons?
I do.
Played
Eagles.
at Western, played for the Eagles.
Western Carolina? He's from South Carolina, but he played at Western.
That's correct, but he's out of Lane, South Carolina.
Yeah.
That's kind of the thing.
And I wanted to get to Levon and the criteria. Obviously,
we're going to have him on again.
Yeah, I absolutely.
C.J. Spiller, of course, played at Clemson. Anthony Simmons out of Spartanburg played at Clemson. Connor Shaw played at South Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
Jim Riggs, he was a Clemson guy. Stump Mitchell played
Citadel.
at Citadel. Mm-hmm. Dexter McClendon out of Meridian, Mississippi, but played at Clemson. Kevin Mack.
Yeah.
Out of Kings Mountain.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. I think he played Chase. Well, no. Who am I thinking played at Chase that went to Clemson? Kevin Mack was – he was
McSwain?
Yeah, Chuck McSwain.
Yes.
Yes, Chuck McSwain. Mm-hmm. Marcus Lattimore played at South Carolina. Mm-hmm. He's out of Duncan, South Carolina. Terry Kennard, he was in my group. Out of Sumter, played at Clemson.
These guys all played either in one of the South Carolina schools, and then some of them went on to play.
From South Carolina.
Yes.
Yeah.
Went on to play in the NFL as well.
Vonnie Holliday played at North Carolina.
Yeah.
He's out of Camden, South Carolina. Lou Holtz, and that's because he was an assistant coach at South Carolina and head coach at South Carolina.
I didn't know Lou was an assistant coach at South Carolina.
In the 60s.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. In the
Wow.
60s. Albert Hainsworth, I didn't realize he was from Hartsville, South Carolina.
Okay.
Played at Tennessee.
Yeah.
Uh,
I mean, it's fertile recruiting area for high school football. I mean, my goodness. That's why.
Rod Gardner,
Yeah.
that played for Clemson. Woody Dantzler, quarterback. Played at
Clemson.
Clemson out of Orangeburg. Dexter Coakley played at App State
Yeah.
through Mount Pleasant. Jeff Bryant, he was my age. He was out of Atlanta. He was a defensive tackle, played for Seattle 5-6 years. Ben Coates
Yeah. Big
played
tight
for the
end.
Patriots.
Yeah. Big tight
out
end.
of Greenwood, he played at Livingston.
Livingston, you mean in
Livingstone College.
that's in Salisbury? Or are you talking about the
Yes, Livingston. I
okay.
think that's right, yeah.
Well, there used to be a Livingston College it's now called West Alabama.
I think he played in Salisbury, but he's out of Greenwood is what.
Okay.
And
All right.
Brinson Buckner
Yeah.
played at Clemson.
Steelers, Panthers.
Yep. Let's see. Peter Bulware, Florida State. He's out of Columbia.
Oh, wow.
I didn't realize that.
Played in the NFL with the Ravens.
Terry Allen, Joe Bostic, Jeff Bostic.
That's some
both
big
those
names.
guys. Yeah.
I mean, it's no wonder they started a football Hall of Fame.
Yep. They've done pretty well.
Yeah.
They've done pretty well. Butch Parker, Maiden at East Burke tomorrow night. Kickoff at 7 instead of 7:30. They're trying to make that game up. They'll play tomorrow night, Saturday, and then the following Friday, if I'm not mistaken. Butch, correct me on that if I'm wrong. East Burke tomorrow night. Then they'll play Saturday. That will be homecoming. And then the following Friday.
Is this the first Tuesday game they've ever played? Maiden history.
I don't
Unless
know.
there's a
Mooresville
rain out.
did one. Mooresville
Yeah.
did one did one in the spring
Okay.
to get them in. Mhm.
I mean, in a normal fall football season, this
And
might.
I think Butch said the reason is you got to have 3 days because they played Friday. You got to
Yeah.
have 3 days between contests, and that's why Saturday, Sunday,
Yeah.
Monday they couldn't play again until Tuesday,
Okay.
and then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday they couldn't play again until Saturday.
Yeah.
That's why it was done this way.
All
If
right.
I'm not mistaken, I think I heard somebody say that. I believe that's right. Let's get into a couple of headlines. Of course, I felt better about the Clemson loss after Carolina was absolutely annihilated by Georgia Tech.
they
Made me
did.
feel a little bit better.
And it's funny that I saw today the betting lines. And I don't bet. I don't gamble at all.
Yeah.
I mean, occasionally I'll lay down something with a prop bet or something, but I don't gamble. But I did see the betting lines. Georgia Tech plays Pitt this week, and Pitt's a 5-point favorite. Pittsburgh.
Mm-hmm. I don't think anybody's really got any faith in Georgia Tech.
Wow. I mean, they last 2 weeks. I mean, they gave North Carolina all they can handle.
Friday night, the Charlotte 49ers beat Middle Tennessee 42-39. Wake Forest over Virginia 37-17.
That's a big surprise.
Syracuse over Liberty. I think some folks were surprised about that one.
Yeah,
too.
that too. And what is I don't remember what Syracuse record is, but Wake is 4-0.
They've only lost one.
Okay.
3-1.
But Wake being 4-0,
Mm-hmm.
that's a big surprise.
And Louisville over Florida State 31-23. East Carolina beat Charleston Southern. Alabama decimated Southern Miss. Georgia beat Vandy 62-0. Oregon over Arizona 41-19. Oklahoma struggled with West Virginia.
They did.
Honestly, this is a great season for college football.
It is turning out to be that way.
And this one, I think I picked A&M, but I was concerned. Arkansas beat them 20-10.
Yeah, and
But now
Arkansas 4-0.
A&M's lost their starting quarterback.
They have.
They're on a backup quarterback.
They have, but their offense is right now unimaginative. They're not doing a whole lot offensively to some of the highlights that I've seen. And Arkansas, who nobody, even the great experts, even Feinbaum, those guys,
Well,
nobody.
there's only one team in the SEC.
I know. But even anybody that follows the SEC with just a little writers, broadcasters, anybody, no one could have seen Arkansas 4-0.
No, I didn't see it. I was a little concerned. I will.
I bet you there'd be just even to the a little bit better than the average football fan, college football fan, couldn't tell you the name of their head coach until recently.
No, he's a big boy.
Yeah, Sam Pittman.
Coach Ford was head coach there for a brief time.
Yeah, he was.
He was a Razorback. Wisconsin got beat like a dog by Notre Dame, 41-13. I did pick Wisconsin.
Well, yeah, that game was a lot closer. A couple of touchdowns late.
And Baylor over Iowa State, that's a big upset, 31-29. UCLA over Stanford. LSU struggled with Mississippi State. I think I took Mississippi State in that one as well. Boston College beat Missouri 41-34.
They're another team, 4-0. I think Boston College is 4-0.
And Richie said that Clemson's a 14.5-point favorite.
Is it at Clemson?
Who cares?
That if I were an AD somewhere, I'd be looking at their coach. Times I've heard him and I've seen them play a couple of times, they play with a sense of purpose, and their coach seems to be a guy that's he's going to be a guy that a lot of, I think, schools are going to look at. Hafley's, I think his name is, Jeff Hafley.
That sounds right.
Yeah.
You said a Panther move today?
Yeah, Panthers made a trade. Unusual for this time of the year in the NFL, but they had that injury to J.C. Horn. They went out and got a former number 1 draft pick, cornerback C.J. Henderson from Jacksonville, along with a 5th-round pick, and they gave up that tight end. You know, it's not going to be Darnold to Arnold anymore. Arnold, the tight end, traded back to Jacksonville, along with, I think, the Panthers' third-round pick. I'm getting the draft picks mixed up, but player for player, 1-for-1, plus a draft pick on each side. So Horn's going to be out. He's going to have surgery this week, probably be out the rest of the year. I mean, where are you going to go this time of the year to find a former number 1 draft pick and you can immediately insert him in to your secondary? So I guess that's a good move if you're a Panther fan, that you get a former number 1 draft pick and they leave Tampa Bay. I mean, not Tampa Bay, but Jacksonville, where things aren't going very well for them. Seems like a good trade.
I didn't have a heart to tell LaVon I did not pick our Steelers this week. I did pick Cincinnati, and I hit on that one.
Yeah, well, they're terrible. They're for the Steelers. That's the worst loss against the Bengals since he played.
Kansas
since
City.
95.
I almost took the Chargers, and I didn't do it.
Ooh.
Everybody lost that game, and everybody but Randall David and Milton Sane lost the New England-New Orleans game because everybody took New England.
Yeah, because they
didn't see that one coming.
Playing at home. And I listened to some of the talk shows in Pittsburgh today, this afternoon, getting ready for the show, and on my way over here. They're ready to jump off any one of the bridges in Pittsburgh. There's a ton of them. But they have the same record as the Chiefs, but nobody's panicking about the Chiefs.
And everybody picked Seattle and missed that one as well.
Yeah, Minnesota was without their best running back, and they went in. They came back and won.
And another one that I took a flyer on, I took the Rams over the Bucks and won on that one. I said,
there you go.
And tied for 8th, I believe. David Keever still on top. But he had done so well last week. He missed 7 games
so far, and then one tonight.
Yeah, I don't know who he took tonight. I took the Cowboys. It pains me to take the Cowboys.
They're a better team. Eagles just don't have much offense.
I know. It just pains me to do that.
I'm pulling for the Eagles only because the local kid, Landon Dickerson out of Hickory, he's going to start at right guard for the Eagles, making his professional first start tonight for them.
Bob Duckworth was the only guy that took NC State against my Tigers.
Oh, wow.
So he hit that one.
All right.
He was a single one on that one. And Stephen Lowe and Brett Keever took Mizzou over Boston College. The rest of us are kind of split on some things.
After I heard Drinkowitz give a press conference earlier in the week, and he was very condescending about having to go play Boston College. He didn't want to see them. Why are they playing a Boston College? Because they don't get any recruits out of the Northeast anyway. Anyway, he's very condescending, and I'm kind of glad they lost.
Drinkowitz, Richie said Drinkowitz was still hoping to not play Boston College after the game. He didn't want to go to Boston, didn't want to have anything to do with the game.
Yeah,
Wanted to find a way to schedule Kansas.
Yeah.
Well, everybody liked to play Kansas. Let's see. Link says Tar Heels' most overrated team this season. Pitt should be aware of Wake. Wake's not playing bad ball.
No, they're not. 4-0.
Yeah,
No.
I watched that game. Yeah, and you're right. And I'm gonna be honest with you, Lincoln. So's my Tigers. After watching them play, they shouldn't be in the top 25. They held on. They're in one spot. They're 25.
Clemson's 24.
25.
25.
Yeah, and they shouldn't be. They shouldn't be. Richie said Georgia Tech looked like a ranked team Saturday night. They hit all their defensive marks. Butch said that's correct. They have changed that to 72 hours now. We could have played at 7:30 Friday, but felt better about the extra day for our kids' health and safety.
Yeah.
Richie said he was surprised by the 49ers-Packers game. You don't know which Aaron Rodgers is going to show up.
He looked good last night, the part I saw.
Yeah.
I mean, he doesn't look like he's a year or two younger than Ben.
Yeah.
He still can move around quite a bit.
Ben looks bad. No.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah,
he does.
That's not.
And they're calling now for the Steelers to sit him down on the bench and put in somebody else because they are struggling that bad. He doesn't trust his offensive line. He's making so many mistakes. They have no running game, no passing game, and he's just getting beat up. Got sacked 4 times yesterday, and he missed receivers.
Mm-hmm.
He did a rollout. They faked a rollout like a bootleg, and he fell down. He had the ball in his right hand. He tried to flip it forward, and he just fell down.
I believe I made this comment last year.
It was it's like Joe Namath and Johnny Unitas when their last legs, they went to another team, but we're seeing them just really, it's like Ben just stepped in an elevator shaft all of a sudden, went boom, and hit the ground.
Breezy is out for the year for Clemson, the big tackle. Shipley to be back. I haven't really seen it.
What about McCaffrey for the Panthers? He's got the hammies. Is he going to be out another week or so?
He's
not long term, I don't think, but that can be lingering.
Let's see.
I think Horn's having surgery and he's out. I think he's going to miss the rest of the year.
Who?
J.C. Horn.
Oh yeah, three broken bones.
Yeah,
I don't see how.
And he was just backing up, right?
Yes. Well, McCaffrey was not. That was a non-contact also.
Yeah, but a hamstring. He was cutting.
I know, but I'm just saying.
Maybe it's that turf.
No, I heard. Who's the other guy that's on? Rich Eisen. Rich Eisen was whining about take turf out. Take turf out. I don't see that as an issue. That's just me. I don't.
And I know turf's different now than what it used to be. Go tell
It's
those
not
guys.
Carpet.
We should ask LaVon, how was it to play on that hard cement turf at Three River Stadium for LaVon Kirk?
Awful.
Yes,
God
it was.
Almighty, you were playing on concrete.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the way it was back then.
You just had some carpet on concrete. Yeah. It was not good. It was not good at all. I was trying to think any other amazing breaking stories. Let me see if I can find something here on McCaffrey. Because I've been gone. I've been out of the loop today. I haven't looked at the phone. It says missed some times. He's going to expect to be out a few weeks as the team continues to run tests. They won't put him on injured reserve because if you do that,
is it 6 weeks?
I think it's 6 weeks before you can come back. Have we got all the good out of Christian McCaffrey we're going to get?
It would appear.
Because it doesn't look like you're going to be able to count on him because it just looks like it's going to be one after the other. When Matt Rule told reporters They won't put him on IR, meaning McCaffrey won't be required to miss 3 weeks before returning to action. J.C. Horn is done for the year. He is on IR with a broken foot. McCaffrey's time frame for return might end up being similar to the minimum requirement instituted by a trip to the IR, but keeping him off IR at least allows the Panthers a chance to bring him back sooner.
And they need to develop some running backs. I don't know if there are any other running backs out there, some veteran running backs that they could acquire and bring in.
Yeah. Before we go away, Lenore, Ryan, thoughts?
Played better. They beat not Newberry, but they beat Mars Hill 31-16 in their home opener Saturday. Started slow. This is a little bit different. Like when we heard Chuck Bittner last week saying that over the last couple of years, they've been a team that started fast. It was scoreless after one quarter. The offense got awake. They had some big plays from their best players. Grayson Willingham, their star quarterback, 3 touchdown passes to their pro prospect. Derek Young caught 3, tied a school record. And their defensive tackle, all-conference, all-American defensive tackle, Dan Luba, coming off an injury. Coming off an injury, made his first start of the season, had a school record 4 sacks in the game. So they played better. There's still some things to clean up. They had a whole heck of a lot of penalties. Didn't make a lot of mistakes and didn't play a sloppy game. It was a little bit uneven and maybe undisciplined game, but they needed to get back on the winning side after losing the previous week to Newberry, and they did. And now they go to Virginia Wise up in Virginia for the first time ever, and Virginia Wise is coming off a sound defeat of Carson Newman of all teams. Beat them 37-7, I think, something like that. Carson Newman's 0-3.
Has Wise always been Division II, or did they recently move to 2 from 3?
They moved. They were an NAIA school not too long ago. Cody Dalton's alma mater, by the way, and they were NAIA Division III. Then they moved in. This is their second year in the South Atlantic Conference in Division II.
Okay. Richie wants to know if you saw the spot on the Presbyterian coach on game day. I guess game day from Saturday.
I did not see it. I've read enough about him. They were talking about his philosophy of never punting. I didn't see it. I'm guessing. They playing a bunch of high-scoring games. They scored 84 points one game, and the next game they gave up 84 points, something like that.
Wow.
It's kind of weird.
Solid. You got any on this day?
I didn't bring anything on this day.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
No. I want to make sure I didn't want you to go to all that work and not have anything.
No, I would not be offended, my friend.
Okay. I'm going to look at just a couple of things quickly as we're rolling off here. Be back in the morning for Rembert be with me.
Hey, Catawba County Schools meeting tonight. School board. Are they going to get rid of
This is their reevaluation. They were supposed to meet every 3 weeks. I saw something about that this morning.
I thought once a month.
Was it once a month?
I think once a month. So the word was today they might get rid of the masks.
Okay.
Or continue the mask mandate for another month. I don't know. We'll see.
I'm married. Just tell me what to do. I'm good. Let's see. 1923, Lou Gehrig hits the first of his 493 home runs.
Wow.
His first one was today.
Okay.
31, Lou Gehrig competes his 6th straight season playing every game for 6 straight seasons. Can't get him to play 6 innings now. They want to go out and do something else. Sandy Koufax sets the National League strikeout season record at 269 back in 1961.
That since has been broken, I believe, by Nolan Ryan and some other people.
Okay. Nolan Ryan is 73, strikes out 16 in 11 innings for a record 383 in a season. There you go.
Randy Johnson, Steve Carlton, I'm sure there's been a bunch. Roger Clemens. And I think the Braves are going to make the playoffs, Lanny. This week they play the Phillies. If they win 1 or 2 of those games, they'll probably win the division for the 4th year in a row. So there'll be baseball for 4 to talk about for the next couple of weeks.
2005, Atlanta Braves clinched their 14th straight division title.
That's amazing. That'll never happen again. Not in baseball.
Yeah, but they couldn't do anything about that if they did it.
What year? 95?
That was 05.
05.
08, Greg Maddox wins his final start of his career. Hard to believe it's been 13 years.
Yeah.
Final start for Maddox. Looks like that's all I got.
His brother is a pitching coach with the St. Louis Cardinals.
Really?
Yes.
Was not aware of that.
Yeah, wasn't as good a pitcher as his brother, but Mike Maddox, I think his name is, but he's a pretty good pitching coach.
How about Justin Tucker breaks the
Yeah.
NFL longest field goal record?
66 yards and got a little help from the officials.
And he was outdoors.
Yes,
right?
he was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Got a little help.
I was alive and saw the Tom Dempsey one.
Yeah, I remember seeing that.
Yep.
Absolutely.
A couple passings on this day. George Blanda
Oh.
passed away on this day in 2010 at the age of 83. And Doak Walker passed away in 1998. American College and Pro Football Hall of Fame halfback, Heisman Trophy, 1948, Pro Bowl, looks like 5 years, first team All-Pro, about 6, dies from a skiing accident at the age of 71.
Good for him.
Wow. Wow, that is amazing. Have a great night. I'll see you in the morning. Choo-choo's got a real job. I don't know what I'm doing tomorrow. Have a good one, folks. See you.